And those,
The concrete that it's setting.
that camera's aimed right at you, so don't make your faces whenever we're talking. You guys see I'm not-
I have on camera, which is good. You're here. I'll start.
Oh,
Now this whole time we were right there.
And I brought cough drops in case.
Oh, great.
Yeah, since you donated last time.
All right.
Okay, we're going to start the public hearing meeting for two hearings. One is the well, let me back up. I'm sorry. It is April the 21st. It's about 5:15 or something like that. Pretty close. 5:16. Okay, thank you. And the purpose of this is to have public hearing, which is a quasi judicial. So people that want to speak will be sworn in. And the first one is adoption proposed for amendments to the code 18.54, which is the telecommunication wireless facilities. So, go ahead.
Mr. Chair, I know it's not on the hearing agenda, but I would like to take roll call and also the.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Thank you.
Before the hearing?
Commissioner Davis?
Present.
Commissioner Miller?
Present.
Mr. Walkinshaw?
Present.
Chair Walkinshaw? Madam Chair?
Present.
Madam Vice Chair? And Commissioner Moore?
Present.
Commissioner Aldia? And Commissioner Fox?
Present.
All right.
Mr. Chair, we do have quorum, Alderman Mr. President.
Very good. Thank you. And now it's time. First is to pledge allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you. And now it is time for the hearing on the proposed adoption of 1854 telecommunication wireless facility. And if anyone wants to get up and speak, we need to swear you in. All right. Raise your hand and I, your name, swear that the evidence and the testimony you are about to give to the commission in this matter shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth as best to your ability, so help me God.
Yes.
Okay.
Right, Mr. Chairman, Commission, this ordinance proposal is to repeal the existing ordinance we have currently and to adopt this new ordinance in its place. There's a lot of, I want to say, a good portion of our old ordinance is still being proposed for adoption with just some changes. And the reason why we elected to repeal and propose to amend or not to amend, to adopt this new ordinance is because of some concerns and for historic preservation. The town of Lucia's, I guess my best way to explain it is its uniqueness, and try to keep it that way to where we wanted to make sure that if there is another proposed cell tower, that we exhaust all means of technology,
Yeah.
professional advice from those people that are professionals, I guess, specific in that category, not
Right.
so much ourselves at our expense or try to understand a lot of these logics that some of these applicants sometimes have. So, with that said, I'd like to bring up a person that worked on this ordinance in behalf of town. That way, she can give us a little bit more detailed information in case you all have any questions or the public has any questions. Maybe between all of us, we can.
Yeah.
answer that.
Eddie, I'd like to add to that, and I appreciate that description, is this ad hoc committee, which Dasha is a member of, and also Trina, and also Andrea is both the Dasha and Andrea are here. And so it was a committee that Jerry Navarez on the trustee was asked to form to kind of redo this and look at this. And I also want to mention that the current code is about 10 pages, and this is 52 pages or so. A lot of legalese, and it was done by a lawyer that Andrew I think it's Campelli. And he is a national lawyer that's addressing a lot of these issues for small towns that can't really afford to have their own lawyer. So there's a lot of legalese in there, but it's as Eddie mentioned, it's to protect. So we can't deny a company to come in. They just have to have much more proof and go through much more hoops to go ahead and state or have another cell tower. So yeah.
So obviously, we did have some questions. We did have an applicant, probably getting close to a year.
Yeah.
So that we sometimes we learn, right, from the first time we've never been.
Right.
We don't see applications for cell towers very often. So afterwards, we've learned a lot from that case. And I think a lot that we've learned from that, you'll see reflected on this ordinance.
All right.
Mr. Chair, if I may.
Oh yeah.
Mr. Salazar, so the language that we're looking at is in blue. This is going to be the updated language to what we currently have.
Right.
But my question is, has this language been vetted through our town of Mesilla attorney?
Answer no. No. Typically, when we propose ordinances, sometimes we do. Whenever we propose ordinances, it gets reviewed by legal at the very end of the process. Because if it reviews it now, by the time it gets to legal, at the very end, it changes some changes and stuff like that. And legal fees get pretty expensive, and the town of Mesilla's budget is very small compared to that. So sometimes we try to control that. But it will be reviewed, so I guess it should be considered that it will be reviewed.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
May I?
Yes.
On page, are we getting into it now?
No, right now we just giving the presentation. I think she might have some other.
Because I see an edit that was not made
Okay.
from the meeting that we had last week.
Okay.
Page 25 is the chart of heights and provisions. I thought we had raised everything up to the 75 feet.
A change has been made. You may not have the latest copy.
That's,
Yeah, we did.
Do you have? I gave you got a copy. I gave it to you.
I have a new one, but I just want to make sure that it's gone. Thanks, Doctor.
With that, Mr. Chair?
Yes, I'd like to invite Dasha Barbosa. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for this opportunity. There was a group of us that worked on it. There's an immense amount of hours that went into this, and it's quite complex. let me give you a brief introduction to the document. So, I don't know if you, today I come across with the green sections on it.
Yes, it's right.
Oh, perfect. Yeah.
It was the fourth draft, right, in the book.
Fourth draft.
Yeah, so the green, the green are edits that are based on our work session from, last week. So the black copy is the existing town of Messia ordinance, which is about 20 years old, which is why we didn't have the terminology and up-to-date, legalese to really negotiate effective. The red is the committee's edits. Green is the PNZ edits, and blue is new copy that was adopted from the town of Washington, which is a small town, about 1,600
Our size, yeah.
residents, and that was developed or approved by Andrew Campanelli. I don't know if any of you got a chance to watch the video. Well worth it, and it explains why it's so why it's so important for small towns to have really robust legal documents.
Right.
Because, for example, Verizon has a building downtown Denver that's full of lawyers that specialize in nothing else but dealing with small towns and, you know, imposing their will. So it's very rare for small towns to have that level of expertise available to fight these companies. And what often happens is that they hire their experts to support where to put the towers based on cost to them, and not taking into consideration social justice or, residents,
Right.
those kinds of issues. So that's why we went with that particular ordinance. Now, we did make some adaptations, like we put in town of Messia instead of Langley. We
Good.
removed their ordinance numbers.
Mm.
And so it is possible something got by us. If you see anything like that, that would still need to be corrected. So, let's see. The terminology is very confusing. That's by design, and that's the industry. So, for example, personal tower doesn't mean necessarily a private tower, but it means it's a tower that the end consumer is a person. Whereas a commercial tower is a tower that's used by like a TV station or radio or whatever. Then the word user doesn't mean us. User actually means the cell phone company. So like Verizon or AT&T, those are users.
User of the tower.
Yeah, they're
Yeah,
users of the facility.
Of the facility,
Yeah,
exactly.
exactly, yeah. Yeah, so anything like that, I'm happy to answer the questions. And what motivated us to participate is the adverse. They're not protected. But it still exists. It's like if you're close to a fire hose, you're gonna, to the other side of the room. Whereas if you're 100 feet from the fire hose, that's something that I didn't originally know about. We're not against telecommunications per se. It's not written to be prohibited. And also, it would, but, oh, yeah, but we, as residents, would love to see something that's done. Town's character is preserved. So I'll be happy to make any clarifications or answer questions that you may have.
Hi, on page 16, D, I'm not sure what's supposed to be in that little green box.
Oh, yeah, okay, good question. Let's see, now my copy is black and white.
It says publication of record, which is,
Yes, thank you.
Mhm.
So that's standard practice for towns to have a publication of record. And that's so that citizens know to go to that specific newspaper to find all the notifications, so that it's not in the bulletin one time and in the sun another time, and residents don't know where to look. So that's something that I guess decided by the mayor or?
Yeah, right now, we do get publications of records from our local newspaper, the, what's the local, the Sun News? Is it the Sun News? The Bulletin, sorry, the Bulletin. Yeah, either ones, if we can't get one, we do the other one, but we do get publication.
Okay, so that's what will go in that.
Yeah, and typically it states, I think our corporate record, which is a local newspaper or.
so should that be in there?
Yeah, that's.
Because
she was-
the name will be in there. or
Yes,
no?
yes.
Okay.
It's just that she didn't know what it was.
All right, that's right. Yeah, and it should be specific.
Okay,
Because let's say next year, West Cruces has 5 newspapers.
right.
So then.
Where do you look, right?
Yeah.
Good question.
Bulletin is our top choice. So I'll pencil up on it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's the only question I have.
Mr. Chair, if I may. Well, I have a question. Where am I? Shoot, I lost it. Oh, page 19. Page 19, we see deletion of language in relation to balloon tests on the height of a tower. Why was that? What was the idea behind your team to remove that language?
So, the balloon tests are outdated, they're no longer being used. So what's being used now is a height test, which is a much, height model test, which gives a much better idea of what's actually.
Hmm. Unreliable. If I can ask, so what replaces the balloon test?
Height model test.
So what does that look
Could be
like?
anything. Yeah, that's just a term. They could be like last time there was a girl, the other time it could be a pole.
Like a
that-
crane or something that's visual other than a balloon?
It's not one thing specific. Balloon test, the term it actually was, they used to fly a balloon.
Yeah.
Yeah. So because that wasn't very reliable, right? The wind. and
Especially in March, yeah.
Yeah, or pop, whatever, it needs something, actual structure, something that
Oh,
plays.
Yeah, right.
Okay, thank you, Dasha.
Also, we make a big effort to put the town in the driver's seat when it came to cost and hiring experts. Our town should be able to choose who those experts are.
Independent experts. Yes.
Yes, and the applicant should pay the cost.
Right.
Yeah, last time it was problematic that Verizon hired, or some state hired experts that just basically rubber stamp.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
Can you help me find where we had spoken about the view corridor and that we were going to expand that?
So that's 070. Oh, here it is. 060, page 37. Is that what we're talking about?
Yes.
So we did
Yeah,
that.
that's the same as it was, but
We did go up to, so the committee went down to 65 feet, but we went up to 75 after the work session. And we did a global change for the document where it should say now 75 feet to everyone.
Oh, even on the view corridor?
Oh, not view corridor, that's it.
She was asking about the view corridor.
Oh, view corridor.
On page 18.
Oh,
Yeah. Talks about Butterfield Trail, Oregon Mountain views, desert beats.
yeah, I think maybe more qualified to answer.
Yeah. Yeah. Unfortunately, if I look at anything in the code or anything even in the comprehensive plan, we don't have any view corridors identified. So I was thinking, well, why should we show this until we have something? But it did say to include but not limited to. And I think I like that language from the standpoint of, because we just have to develop a identification of view corridors and what it means here in town and where it is, where they are, before we can really have it in the code.
Mr. Chair, I think what would be best to kind of get what Ms. Dasha has been trying to do, I guess the easiest way to put it, is to list that says, not identify which ones they are, and just say view corridors, which are established by the board of trustees through resolution. And then anything that they get to be in their resolution, which could include these.
Yeah, they
That way
probably
we
would.
can move forward in our this ordinance and not, having to redact it later.
That's a good idea. That's a good idea. Thank you. And I did appreciate the fact that one of my comments during the first work session was the confusion about users. So you did explain that really well. And I asked, and you did that. Yeah, I asked to put it in the definitions because it wasn't in the definitions. So that's good.
Did
The
I add
user.
it?
What's that?
Did I add it?
Well, someone did.
Oh, okay.
It's in there because I looked for it. I looked for it.
Thank you.
Yeah. I know. You spent a lot of time on this thing, so it's like too much.
Yeah, we all do.
that's on page 14.
Yeah, it is on, it's also on page 14, N. If you look at that, I think it probably has to have the same language as what Eddie just mentioned as far as, because it says what's in the comprehensive plan, what's in a federal
You
or
add
state.
that to view corridor.
Oh. Oh, okay. Yeah, no, you have users in there, but she brought up a good point on page 14 again. It talks about view corridors in N. So it should have the same language as what Eddie just mentioned. So that's consistent with that other place where it had view corridors. Yeah, thanks. there any other questions from the
Covers my
commission?
notes.
Okay.
that I have.
I have a question because I
ma'am.
wasn't here on Thursday. I don't have the new one, so I don't know where to look for it in the new one. When you're talking about the penalty, did you guys come up with a price? Like it says, the penalty, any person who violates any provision in this chapter, they're going to be $500 imprisonment or imprisonment for not more than 90 days.
Yeah, that's typically the penalty. By law, you can't go above, municipality, you can't impose a 500, max of that.
Oh, that is, because I was gonna say maybe.
We thought-
Yeah, it should be higher.
Yeah.
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 Percentage of what the structure's gonna be.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
I think that's all I have.
Well, that's good because I remember in the first workshop, we talked about that, the penalty. So we were talking about 5,000 or something like that.
That would be nice.
They can afford it. They can afford it. There's no problem there.
Mr. Chanel, if,
Yeah.
Dasha's presented.
Yeah.
You know, and on her behalf, I think we should give an opportunity to anybody that wants to speak.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Thank you,
Keep
Dasha.
in mind, typically hearings are just that, hearings and ask questions. The
We-
comments and such usually are done during the regular meeting. I
Right.
understand sometimes it gets, everybody, right there at that moment, it's a lot easier to ask those kinds of questions. Make comments. Questions you can ask, it's just the comments typically are.
Okay.
Anybody wants to?
No one else? I don't think she was sworn in. She wasn't sworn in.
You can swear her in now. If she-
Okay.
You did get sworn in, if you wanna, did you get sworn in? Raise your right hand.
I, your name, solemnly swear that the evidence and testimony you're about to give, very good, about to give to the commission in this matter, as far as this discussion, shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
The whole truth and nothing but the truth.
To the best of my ability, so help me God. Okay, thank you.
Okay, so, this is my recollection of when these telecommunication towers came into the town of Lucia. So what happened was that the state sent out a model ordinance because communities did not have a choice. You could not reject these facilities, but you could amend them or incorporate them into your code. And that's why the town of Mesilla adopted particular zones where they would allow them. And that was just one zone, which that the town would fit it into. And of course, that meant this was rural farm. And that meant that all of these towers went to Arturo Jurado's property right at the corner of Union and Avenida de Mesilla. So that we really didn't discuss a choice. We just discussed how to put that choice into the town of Messia's code. I just wanted to add that. Thanks.
Thank you. Sounds like no one else was sworn in, so I think we're at a point to go to the second hearing, correct?
So this will be the end of the first hearing and
Yes.
going into the second hearing.
Yes. And the second hearing is to adopt proposed amendments to the Town of Mesilla Title 18 relating to Planning and Zoning and Historical Appropriateness Commission.
Yes, Mr. Chair, thank you, Commissioners. This, we did discuss this, we did have some workshops based on that. The last workshop we had, we didn't have much discussion on it, but I think because the very first time I think all of us were on the same page, we were pretty clear on the changes and why the changes were made. But just very briefly, the reasons why we are amending or proposing to amend or under consideration for this is because we did add 2 positions on the commission for alternative commissioners, and also about the chair voting only during a tie. All right. I reviewed the New Mexico League of New Mexico Municipal League handbook, and they do recommend, or that's how they have it listed, to where the chair only votes and this is a tie. So I think it's closer, a little bit closer to that. And I think, again, the reason why we're doing that is because our recommendation to the Board of Trustees needs to be either way. It can be maybe, right? So it needs to be concrete. So I think it's a good move. Other than that, I think all the other changes that we have here are very minor. That nothing much has changed on that. Only, again, just the language to reflect both alternates and the voting ability of our chair. And I stand by for any questions
Questions from the commission?
or anybody wants to make any comment, if they can right now at this time. Yeah, it's a hearing, so if anyone wants to make a comment, got to be sworn in.
Okay.
So if there's no more discussion, Mr. Chair, I believe we're at the end of our hearing and we can just adjourn.
Do I need to adjourn from?
Yeah.
Okay.
You don't have to vote on it, but you can just
Okay.
announce that it's
Okay.
been.
So we're adjourning from our public hearing and we'll go into our regular meeting. Okay, it's 5:47. It's still April 21st. And this is the regular agenda for the board of, or excuse me, the PZH&C. And pledge allegiance again.
It's up to you.
All
Yeah, okay. I don't mind it. To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Gotta find my agenda. Oh, thank you. Okay, again, I guess a roll call again.
Commissioner Gallegos,
Present?
Commissioner Miller,
Present.
Chair Walkinshaw,
Present.
Vice Chair Alba,
Present.
Commissioner Vogel,
Present.
Commissioner Paz, and Commissioner Alvear. Mr. Chair, you do have 5 commissioners. We do have 4.
Very good, thank you. Next item is number 3 is changes and approval of the agenda. So are there any comments on that?
I move to accept the agenda.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Commissioner Miller and seconded by Commissioner Gallegos.
All right, if there's no discussion, I'll go ahead and take roll call. Commissioner Gallegos,
Yes.
Commissioner Miller,
Yes.
Chair Walkinshaw,
Yes.
Vice Chair Alba, Commissioner Vogel. Mr. Chair, you have 5-0. Motion
Oh, very
passes.
good. Okay, thank you. Next item is number 4. It's public comment input for any of the agenda items. Come up and state your name and your comment.
Hello, Trina Witter. I wanted to make some comments on agenda item 6J. And this is related to the proposed sign that's going to be up there. And I guess there's going to be some plaques on the backside.
Correct.
And I wanted to suggest that the town look into having information on the plaques. Also, for sure there'll be something on there about Ramon Ortiz, but also about the Casauds and the Casaud Mill and the school that was there on that property in that little district area. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Susan Kruger, I just wanted to state for the record that I hope that, not that I hope, but I ask that all of these proposed amendments to these ordinances or adoption of ordinances are reviewed by the town attorney, and that the town attorney actually tells you something like, yes, I approve of the form, and yes, I approve of the content, so that you have some outside input. Thanks.
Thank you. Any other public comment? Doesn't look like it. So let's go on to the next. It's approval of the consent agenda, which is the April 7th work session and regular meeting minutes.
Move to approve April 7th, PZHAC work session and regular meeting minutes.
Second.
Okay, it's been motion from Commissioner Gallegos and then seconded by Commissioner Miller.
All right, no discussion. I'll go ahead and take the vote. Commissioner Gallegos,
Yes.
Commissioner Miller,
Yes.
Mr. Chair Walkinshaw,
Yes.
Madam Vice Chair Alba,
Yes.
Commissioner Mulvihill.
Yes.
Mr. Chair, motion passes 5-0.
Very good. Okay, now we're going on to the action number 6, action and consideration. And A is repeal of the Mesilla Town Code 1850.54, telecommunication facilities and adoption proposed for the new code in its place.
Yeah, we just again, like Mr. Chair mentioned, we just had a hearing a few minutes ago regarding this request to repeal our current town code and adopt this new proposed town code with some language changes and also some suggested changes as well, inclusions. Again, during the hearing, generally we it's called a hearing. I think people take that like to heart. I'm not used to having a hearing where you just listen. Sometimes the interaction that we just had, I think that's what I'm used to, and I apologize for not mentioning it earlier. But generally, Town of Mesilla listens, considers hearings to be just hearings, ask questions, and then the comments and discussion happen during this meeting. Again, I apologize for not bringing that up early. But again, this is the time. So if there's any more discussion, questions that the commission might have, I'll stand by.
Any comments?
I do. Kind of going on what Ms. Kruger said. Is the town attorney not going to look at this at all?
Yes, the town attorney looks at all proposal. He doesn't look at it at this stage or because it's still a draft. Whenever we all get together and also the BOT and we made the final changes, that's when he'll review. Because it doesn't make sense to do it now because then we have to redo it.
Have you changed it?
You said that a while ago, but
Yeah, that's okay. I understand.
Okay.
It's a lot of information.
Yeah, it is.
The only thing I have to propose is what I mentioned during the workshop is I like to propose that our special use permits that we approve, that we consider have a lifespan. Have a lifespan to where they're not forever. Forever is a long time. And I think a lot of times because technology does change, ordinances do get amended and those kinds of things. If you give it a lifespan, maybe, for instance, for a telecommunication facility as this, if you give it a 5-year lifespan, they'll have to come back 5 years later and make sure they anything that we had changes that we have made to the code, they would have to again come to code to that part. If there any new technology to where they can obviously reduce the visual or anything like that, the dangers, the health part of it, that they need to comply. And also along with the special use permit, I believe should be a fee for that. So again, I'm just throwing that out there. We don't need to decide on the fee right now. We are going to have a fee schedule coming up in here shortly. So I will propose that there is a 5-year lifespan on the special use permit and meet all fees according to the fee schedule set by resolution.
Any other comments? So that needs to go in fairly soon.
Correct.
And then, so that would be a condition for this.
Yeah, it's
'Cause we're
it
voting
could be a
on-
condition. It's always best to. I find it easier again. Whoever made the first motion, if everybody agrees to make that amendment to his original motion, if not, we got to do it twice.
Yeah.
And now we got to approve the new amendment proposal, and then we got to go back and approve the original motion. So
Okay.
if the original motion, I believe, was by Commissioner Gallego, if he's willing and agree, then he would make that change.
Yeah, Mr. Salzar, or Mr. Chair, if I can.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, I would love that condition that, with this language that it's vetted by the town of Mesilla attorney to ensure that we are in compliance with what we need to be in compliance with. It sounds like that's normal practice,
Mhm.
but if it's okay with the rest of the committee, we want to add that condition. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
So the condition is that it needs to be reviewed by the
Reviewed
town
by the
attorney?
town attorney. Yeah.
And how about the special use permit and also the fees along with that? Again, because
Correct.
you're the full motion, you need to agree, and then you need to also include that in your motion.
Correct. With
So that would-
those conditions, I think.
Okay.
That would include the SUP for 5 years, only good for 5 years.
Mhm.
Okay.
If you agree, I mean, I think anything more, I think it's too much. I think anything less is kind of asking a little bit too much. I mean, they're investing a lot of money.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Part of your condition. Okay.
Please.
All right.
Thank you.
Any further discussion? No? All right, I'd like to take a vote.
Very good.
If I may. So the first motion by Commissioner Gallegos, I got caught up in the line, I forgot to write it down. Commissioner Gallegos,
Yes.
Commissioner Miller,
Yes.
Mr. Chair Walkinshaw? Oh, you can't vote. No, you still, unless we, that's right, because this is, that's right, we just voted, we just did it last time. Yeah, you're not, I'm gonna scratch you out. I just have it. Madam Vice Chair Alba?
Yes.
Commissioner Mulvihill?
Yes, with conditions.
Mr. Chair, motion passes 4-0.
4-0. Yeah. Lost my job.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I think it becomes official when the Board of Trustees actually adopt
Oh,
our
right.
our
Yeah, which
recommendations.
is-
So if I may, let me do it one more time to make sure it's legal. I think you still need to vote. It
Okay.
just took me a little bit. Commissioner Gallegos? Voting on the same thing.
Yes.
Commissioner Miller?
Yes.
Mr. Chair Walkinshaw?
Yes.
Madam Vice Chair Alba? Commissioner Mulvihill?
Yes.
5-0. My apologies. 5-0, motion
Oh.
passes.
Can I mention one thing?
Mhm.
Since we have alternates here, I think I would like to have them be chiming in on any kind of issues. They just
Yeah,
can't
yeah, of
vote
course.
unless we have
Yeah.
a quorum, don't have a quorum. So
Want to make
just
sure.
want to remind you of that. Okay.
Yeah. You have a voice. You're not in the timeout box. You're part of the commission.
The batter's box. All right. Well, thank you. We're going to go on to item B, which is adopt a proposal of the town code, Title 18, relating to the Planning, Zoning, and Historical Appropriateness Commission amendments. So,
Correct. We just had, again, this is the second hearing we had a few minutes ago. Real quick recap, purpose was for amendments was to include the alternates and also the voting on the chair, and include only for stalemates or break a tie. And I'll stand by for any questions.
Any questions? Ready for a motion?
I move to adopt the proposed amendment relating to the P and Z Historical Appropriateness Commission.
Second.
All right.
All right, there's no more discussion. I'll take the vote.
Okay, propose. Did you get that down as far as
It's,
Lori.
it's to approve. right?
approve? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, this just to be clear, because
All right.
sometimes vocabulary and
Yeah.
word choices make. So it is to approve. Commissioner Miller made the first motion, and a second motion by Commissioner Gallegos. So Commissioner Gallegos,
Yes.
Commissioner Miller,
Yes.
Mr. Chair Walkinshaw,
Yes.
Madam Vice Chair Alba,
Yes.
and Commissioner Mulvihill.
Yes.
Mr. Chair, motion passes 5-0.
Very good, thank you. Okay, now we're coming down to 6C, which is consideration to recommend approval of the arts and culture proposed ordinance.
Mr. Chair, if I may, I think this one, I would like to request that it be postponed. This was on the agenda prior to getting the ordinances at the last minute. So yes, I'd like to request the commission that we can postpone this until further notice.
We need a motion on it? Okay. Looking for a motion?
So moved.
Yeah.
Second.
All right.
All right, no discussion. I'll take the vote. Commissioner Gallegos.
Yes.
Commissioner Miller.
Yes.
Mr. Chair Walkinshaw.
Yes.
Madam Vice Chair Alba. Commissioner Mulvihill.
Yes.
Mr. Chair, motion passes 5-0.
Very good. Next is 6D, which is a business license 1365, and it's at 2309, number 3, Calle de San Albino, submitted by Michael Kevin Stratton. I believe that's right. Yeah,
Mhm.
Thank you. Requesting permission to operate another branch of his store. Help me on that. Zuriab. Okay, Zuriab. That offers natural and handmade body care products, and it's owned in commercial, or excuse me, the historic commercial.
All right, thank you, Mr. Chair. Yes, this application address it was known where the previous cannabis business was, Cannabis Cowboys, I believe. So the building was vacated. It was put up to lease, and then Mr. Stratton business. We got a lease, as you see in your packet. We do have a lease. We do also have a business plan, kind of like an introduction of what they're proposing to sell. I think it's pretty interesting, pretty cool. They're coming from us from Silver City. I mean, anytime there's a new business opening up, specifically around the plaza, I think it's always welcomed and excited about, right? So I'll stand by for any questions. I think it's pretty straightforward.
Yeah, I did have a couple questions in the write-up, a background and analysis. The last sentence says there's sufficient parking for 2 employees on this property. So I guess my question is there any parking for clients that show up there other than street parking?
Understanding of the lot.
Motion.
Oh, I'm sorry. I need a motion. Eddie's giving me, need a motion to address to this project. Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
First motion by Commissioner Mulvihill
Mulvihill?
Second.
and second by Commissioner Miller. I apologize for the interruption.
No,
Go
no,
ahead.
no. My bad.
And if the applicant wishes to speak, he needs to come up to the podium.
You want to come
I'll
up to the
invite you,
podium and
sir.
state your name
Come
and
on. Yeah, state your name and who you are.
Hello, Commissioner. Michael Stratton. To answer the question, the landlord owns 1, 2, and 3, which is a
Right.
jewelry store, a coffee shop, and the little place we're going to lease.
right.
And they said that we could have up to 2 cars in there for employees. So my understanding is no, there is no customer parking
Okay. Okay.
additional to what there already exists.
That was the only question I had. Any other
Any questions?
questions? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Apologies, Mr. Stratton. I don't know if it's
One
come
more
up
time.
yet, but
One
it doesn't look like we're approving any signage yet, correct?
That comes
Later.
There's
later.
another-
It's on
there's another
the
one, yeah.
agenda.
Okay.
Okay,
Thank
very
you.
good. Thank you.
Thank you for bringing that up. I do
Yeah.
sometimes forget, but yeah, this time he is have an application in for a sign.
So if there's any other comments, let's go for a vote.
All right, Commissioner Gallegos,
Yes.
Commissioner Miller,
Yes.
Mr. Chair Walkinshaw,
Yes.
Madam Vice Chair Alba,
Yes.
and Commissioner Mulvihill, apologize.
Yes.
Mobile.
Well, I said Miller again. I have it written down here and I still can't. I get tongues twisted.
We'll get
Thank you. I apologize. Motion passes 5-0.
Very good. Thank you. Okay, now we're down to 6E, which is another business license at 2245 Calle de Colon, submitted by Roberto Garcia, requesting approval of a home occupation, in license in HR. Oh, I need a motion. Yeah. Need a motion to address this.
So moved.
Second.
This is a license for Mr. Robert Garcia. There is a packet. You guys can go through it, but I'll give you a brief explanation. It's pretty simple. He has pecan trees. I think in the historic residential zone, I think he's the only one that has pecan trees. It might be another one, but it's kind of weird because during the RF zone, which is agriculture, right? You don't need a permit. You don't need a business license to sell products like a fruit stand or such if you're growing them there. But because he happens to be in the historic zone, unfortunately, he does need a home occupation for that. And his idea basically is to collect the pecans, put an ad, maybe social, online somewhere, and by appointment, somebody will be stopping by and picking them up. It's not going to be a store or storefront or multiple people showing up. It's just a matter of just having them picked up. And there will be shelled and unshelled pecans. And I'll stand by.
Yes, ma'am.
I was just wondering about the flow of traffic. Not that there's going to be a whole lot, but are they going to be going into that barn? This area, is that where they're going to be picking it up at? Or
Yeah, he doesn't have large quantities. His idea was going to be a freezer, like one of those 8-foot freezers, and he's just going to freeze it. It's not going to be in sacks or anything like that. Most of these are going to be processed, already shelled, but he wanted to make a comment that it might be some that you want to buy with the shell. So yeah, they're just going to be shelled. They're going to be packaged in small. I'm assuming this like 1 gallon bags or whatnot, and then put them in the freezer. But again, he only has 80 pecans, and it's not a lot. No. Again, there's not much.
Good question.
Mr. Chair, if I may.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Salazar, why is it that Mr. Garcia needs a business license to sell his own pecans on his own property?
Yeah, that's I kind of had a little I want to say heartburn, but I kind of had it's his property, it's agriculture, and typically agriculture properties are in RF zone and RE zone, and because it's that zone, they are allowed to have a fruit stand and be able to sell without needing a business license or a permit. But because it's in the historic residential, I didn't see any other means other than he needs to follow like any other business, regardless if it's agriculture or not, unfortunately.
Thank you, sir.
Very good. Any other discussion? I think we're ready for a vote.
All right, Commissioner Gallegos,
Yes.
Commissioner Miller,
Yes.
Mr. Chair Walkinshaw,
Yes.
Madam Vice Chair Alba,
Yes.
and Commissioner Mulvihill.
yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Very good. Thank you. Okay, we're going on to find my place here. Oh, yeah. It's F, It's 6F. It's case 061986. And it's to 2600 Avenue de Macia, submitted by Vila Chavez.
Villa Chavez.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. Chavez. Requesting approval to replace 2 plastic sheds on her property, commercial property, and replace it with one pre-manufactured, apparently larger shed than what she had in there or has in there. So that's need a proposal to a motion. Second.
Second.
Okay.
All right, first motion by Commissioner Mulvihill, second motion by Madam Vice Chair Alba.
Yes.
Mr. Chair, if I may, I'll give a short intro on this. There used to be 2 plastic sheds against the wall or pretty close to the wall on this property. They already been removed with the thought that they were going to originally build on, I was going to be a site build, an extension to an existing structure that they have there. But there were some complications because that requires a right of entry from the neighbors being so close to the property line. And my understanding that the neighbor did not want to sign that property, and according to our code, because that happens, then the structure needs to meet our setbacks, which the setbacks are 7 feet from the property line if it's non-combustible or fire-resistant material. So right now, it is being proposed at 7 feet from the property line. It is being replaced by one single lumber pre-manufactured shed. It is, if you see in the pictures, it is a grayish charcoal trim shed. There's not going to be any utilities. It's just mainly for the business, where it's the location where it's at now. There was some pushback from the neighbor. They did stop by my office and did not feel that it should be allowed to be placed in her view of her window, in the sense. But so I like to make sure that I did bring that up. There was not, they weren't very happy about, or at least whoever the renters, I guess, weren't happy. But she did stop by and she did mention that. But it does meet code. It is going back pretty close to where it was originally, the other 2. And I did mention to the applicant, not the applicant, the neighbor, unfortunately, this is not something that I can help her with as far as her concerns. Not sure if she's here tonight, but I asked her to come if she wanted to speak to the commission. I don't see her here tonight, but what else? Do you have? The electrical pole. Yeah. I like to, I'll invite Mr. Tom over here. My mouth's starting to get dry.
Okay.
Good evening. In regards to the storage unit, there was an electrical pole there. That was one of the reasons that they could not add on to the other existing, as their original plan was. They have come up with a solution. They have provided enough space for El Paso Electric to get in there and utilize that pole if need be. So there isn't any problems as far as encroachment or violations of any site. So, and they are away from that back wall, as Mr. Salazar said. There is, and I don't know if they changed, as far as the gutters, there was gutters on it at one time in case we need to divert water back into Palacios property instead of it going over the wall. But I think because of the fact that originally it was going to be set closer to the wall, it's been moved further away from it.
Okay.
So it should be fine. The way that you design it is set up, it should be acceptable.
Yeah. So it sounds like, it looks like, they got a little on this drawing of the site plan. Looks like they're moving it a little bit closer to the parking lot drain. Is that correct? Getting it further away from the pole.
Right. They're not interfering with the use of the drainage pond in any way. The building is big enough to sit in there
Okay.
and still provide drainage is gonna be set up off the ground a little bit so that
Okay.
we'll be able to get that water out from away from the building and
Okay.
away from that wall.
Good.
So it shouldn't create any problems as far as drainage.
And it's a large enough structure that you have to get a CID. They have to get a CID
Yes.
permit. And because it's 7 feet away, just for my information, so I'm clear on the code, 7 feet away, it's combustible, but that's not a problem because it's 7 feet away.
Well, the fact that it's considered as storage, it fits within the allowable
Oh,
setback requirements for
okay.
storage.
Had they set it at 3 feet, then they would have had a non-combustible wall there. Or...
Right. If it would have been any closer than that, then it would have had to been non-combustible, which means that they would have had to have sheetrocked the inside or done
Oh, yeah.
something with it to make it a fire resistant rated.
Rated for hours.
Correct.
Number of hours.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. No.
And if you remember, there was, not using another location, but there was one that came up at the hacienda.
Oh yeah.
That was similar.
Right.
That was set closer than the 7 feet that this one is. It was set at 3 foot, I believe.
Yeah.
And that one was presented to the commission as a fire rated assembly.
Okay.
So
That's right. That's right. Thank you. Yeah. Appreciate that.
Question for you. So
Yes.
the fence in the back doesn't help with that fire resistance, or is it because it's not tall enough?
well, typically it's not tall enough.
Okay.
Okay, and usually there's a 10-foot setback between structures, including off a property line. You probably look at about a 5-foot setback. So they're beyond that 5-foot required setback. So that makes them within code to be able to do what they're doing.
I was just wondering because of the fence, if they could get a little bit closer. Just kind of give them a little bit of room.
Is that a wall? I mean, it's a rock wall, isn't it?
It's a rock wall, but just keep in mind that they can't go any too much closer because they only have so much room to work with off the property line. And if they encroach into that setback, then they're going to have to change the whole configuration and of the building itself.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
No, that's a good comment. All right. Thank you. Appreciate that.
The only other comments I'd like to make is the applicant did want to put it back to
Right
the
on,
thing.
though.
It's just the right of entry. They wasn't able to get an agreement between the neighbor. They did feel like they did lose some space on the property, but mainly they are concerned that because it is the type of business being a bar, that there's going to create some hidden spaces in the back behind the shed. And then it's going to create safety. That shed's there for the employees to come in and out, grab some brooms, grab some tables and such. And leaving that void behind that shed is a great concern for the owner of the property. Unfortunately, again, because it wasn't able to get a right of entry, even if it's fire resistant, anything less than 3 feet is allowed by code, but with right of entry form as well. So unfortunately, that was able to happen.
That is that wall on the other property, or is that wall?
That wall's
right
been
on
there
the
for a very long
property?
time. I'm not exactly sure
Okay.
exactly where it's at. I do understand your question. Doesn't make you want to have a fire resistant, but you have a 12-inch rock wall. How is that going to burn through, right? And really, what
Good point.
it's easier to write code this way because not all walls are made from rock or steel, and it's just a matter of the setback. And the setback doesn't end at 6 feet. You still have the pitch of the roof that is still able to collapse, fall over, and that is why the extension on it. But yeah, at first I was like, fire ain't gonna go through the rocks. Why would it? But yeah, they're still above the wall that you still got to consider.
Yeah, I know we're not supposed to make recommendations, but if that's their concern, even if it's set 7 feet, they could put couldn't they? I guess my question, chain link fence on either end that ties into the wall, so that no one can get back in there.
That's one
know.
one of those intents of the commission, of the code that the commission needs to interpret.
Yeah.
But I don't think you can put chain link, but you could probably put some kind of fencing regarding, right?
I was just curious. Yeah.
Approved fencing, but that's a structure,
Yeah, that's true.
right? So it's like, so again, maybe something to look at, and maybe I'll write it down, and this time we come to turn back around and work on these ordinances. We'll include some of that language, some of the changes, because really that is, that property, I'll real quick, I'll make some intent. That property is commercial. It's not It's not historic commercial.
Right.
So at the beginning, I was like, man, you can go right up to the property line, no problem. Just give me a right of entry, blah, blah. But then I'm kind of going back. You still need a 5 entry, anything less than 7 feet. So that's why you can't go up to the property line. And the only reason why it's not commercial, I'm told by the applicant, is because they allow smoking inside. They have a smoking section inside the business. The building is historical as can be. I mean, they have those Budweiser,
Mural.
the mural. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, it's still considered commercial. To me, it doesn't make a lot of sense. So maybe we'll try again, turn back around and revisit that part of it. It's because there's some signage that being proposed, houses changes, all that to me is it's a long time. We need to protect sometimes the signage and so not having any historic kind of scares me that they not have to go through the process of preserving their business, right?
Their smoking was, they have a smoking section, but it's outside, but it's fenced.
Yeah, they go through the, it's a state statute thing, tobacco, law regulations, they allow, it's inside, but yeah, it's considered outside because of, imagine the walls or it doesn't have a roof or whatever they get away with.
Very good. All right.
Thank you.
If I may, Mr. Salsa, I think you alluded, I have a question about what's going to be contained in the shed. Like, is it combustible material? But it sounds like it's tables and chairs. Is that correct?
Let's say
What's going to be contained? I don't even know if it's a valid question, if I can even ask it. What's going to be contained in this new structure?
what's going to be contained inside the shed?
Yes, sir.
It's just equipment, I'm told, not chemicals. You need, that's a separate business. That's falls under hazmat and OSHA, different laws. But yeah, it's just going to be basic tables, brooms, mops, those kinds of things. The combustion is not so much at the right, maybe not the right term. Is more, it's that term is used because of the fire, because it's made out of lumber.
Yeah.
It's not the materials inside of it.
Okay.
All right. I think guess we're ready for a vote.
Okay, so we did have a first motion by Commissioner Mulvihill and second by Madam Vice Chair Alba. And Commissioner Gallegos,
Yes.
Commissioner Miller,
Yes.
Mr. Chair Walkinshaw,
Yes.
Madam Vice Chair Alba,
Yes.
and Commissioner Mulvihill.
Yes.
Mr. Chair, motion passes 5-0.
Very good. Thank you. Going on to the next one is G, 6G. It's a sign permit 061987, and it's a 1730 Tierra. Thank you. Terra de Macia, Suite 1, submitted by Joy. Help me out here. Duchette.
You said,
Sounds French. Seeking permission to put up a sign for her business, Get It Together Therapy. She is licensed clinical social worker in its own commercial.
I don't believe they're here, Mr. Chair.
Okay.
If you want to get a motion.
Second.
Second, okay. First motion to approve, Commissioner Miller, second motion to approve by Commissioner Gallegos. Yeah, this business was approved not too long ago, a few months ago, I think. And basically, they just want some signage. At the time, they weren't ready for a sign. They just want signage. And it's going to be on one of their directory poles. It's the only little awkward thing that I do find is why wasn't the sign put all the way across the board? It kind of looks funny, being small like that. But not sure if that's something the landlord requested to leave it like that in case there's going to be multiple businesses to allow some room.
Yeah.
But it's up to the commission. If they do want to approve, they can set that condition that it needs to be as the top sign, all the way across.
Right.
So it looks
Uniform.
uniform. Exactly. Thank you.
Sorry, I did, I was in communication, right? She said that was the space that she was allowed.
That was as big as she was allowed? Okay.
Because she wasn't even sure, but she's thinking because she has a small office.
Okay.
Small office, small.
Okay. Well, that was,
But that's kind of curious. The other one above it is full size.
yeah.
Okay.
And the
Alright.
the sign permit costs a whole $3.66.
Any discussion?
I have a
Mr. Chair, if I
question.
may.
Yeah.
My apologies if someone's
Oh, no.
chiming in. Mr. Salazar, why I'm trying to figure out, like, why are there two different photos of two different signs? What is the second one? That's a standalone.
Something is,
That states
That was when it was.
1730.
yeah, that was, I was getting to that part. It just, there's, if you read it, it says, Mrs. Joy, you said is asking permission to place a sign on the already placed Marquee directory in the front of the property. That sign will be in aluminum and the light dark green in color and non-glossy. It measures 1.83 total. She will be installing the sign herself. Now, the other sign, that's this one, are they proposing to put a sign there? What's the purpose for that?
Just showing the location of where the sign was.
Okay, the placement.
Sign that they have.
That was just the older sign.
Any other comments?
Mine was the same as his. Like, what are we doing here?
Very good.
Man, you guys are on it. Yeah, everybody will jump on it. Okay.
Good night.
Okay, so if there's no more discussion, I'll
No.
take a vote. Commissioner Gallegos? Commissioner Miller? Mr. Chair Walkinshaw?
Yes.
Madam Vice Chair Alba? And Commissioner Mulvihill.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Okay, thank you. Next one is the sign that was talked about earlier. It's H. It's a sign permit for 061990 2309 number 3 Calle de Santa Albino, submitted by Mr. Stratton. Requesting a sign permit for the projection sign in front of his new store, which is the old cannabis. There is already brackets up on that sign that they're gonna, I think, use. So, yeah, that's it. Need a motion?
Yeah, move to approve sign permit 061990.
Thank you. Second?
Second.
All right, yeah, this application we did discuss just recently about, it was approved by the commission for a new business with the old Cannabis Cowboy. The framework, the projection frame is already in place. This is just to rehang 40-inch sign, I believe it is, in its place. And the obviously the drawings or the graphics are on the last page there.
Right.
I stand by for any questions.
Yeah, I
Any
did
questions?
just want to remind the code section that this pertains to is, make sure I got the right one here. Yes, 1865 150 A and B1, which talks about making sure that the bottom of the sign
7
is
feet.
more than 7 feet high, so you don't have people bumping into it. And then also, it can only come out a maximum of 4 feet from the wall. And it looks like those dimensions you have there, and looking at the bracket, I think you can achieve that. So yeah, looks like it. Thank you.
Correct.
Comments? All right, ready for vote?
Commissioner Gallegos?
Yes.
Commissioner Miller?
Yes.
Mr. Chair Walkinshaw?
Yes.
Madam Vice Chair Alba?
Yes.
And Commissioner Mulvihill.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Okay, thank you. All right, moving down. 6I, which is another sign request, 061993 by the town of Mesilla. Submitted application to install a 40-inch steel sign at Parque de, help me out here.
There.
Good.
Commemorative.
Commem-
It's commemorative.
It's a commemorative
Conmemorativo
park.
in Spanish.
Commemoration. I guess.
Conmemorativo, sorry.
With the words Mesilla zoned HR, and I understand it's basically across the street in the park by the bar down there on the Main Street, Chalas.
Mhm.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, these are going to be constructed by steel, but I'll wait for the motion. I think I'm going to
I
go.
need a motion to address this.
Move to address PNC sign 061993.
Second.
We both kind of.
No.
So first motion was by Commissioner Miller and second motion by, I heard, Madam Vice Chair Alba, that's why I stared at you, I apologize. You guys are playing bingo, you guys gotta stop, you guys talk up. Okay, yeah, this is a Tana Mesia, application request, again, in efforts to be transparent and fair across the board, we're trying to, make sure that, we submit any projects that we have. I think, proposing you know, you want to look at it as a monument in a sense, right? Reminds me of the big old letters of Hollywood over there when you get down to me. I think it's going to be a great attraction for tourism, for pictures, for it's going to enhance that park. Yeah, it's going to be if you look at the specs here, there's going to be a small wall that is going to be, I believe it's just 12 inches. 12 inch, yes, and
Almost 21 inches, I think.
the height of the wall on one side, right? It's
Yeah.
50 inches, and it's 21 inches up. Yeah, 21
actual
inches on
wall,
one
yeah.
side and 50 on the other side. The letters itself is going to be sitting on top of 21. It's going to be 40 feet, and I believe it's
40
6
inches.
inches, 40 feet, 40 inches. Sorry. I'm going. It is one tall. Yeah. Be kind of hard to take pictures with that, right?
Yeah.
The cool thing also is they are going to have some LED lights, and with you know, the thought of the night skies, obviously, you know, ordinance or statute, it's going to be a very low LED lights, and then it's going to be able to change colors for holidays and such. So, and it's going to be through the bottom. So yeah, it's going to be, and again, it's very, very low voltage, similar to landscaping lights. It's just going to be, and then you're able to dim it in case you need to be.
Kind
I'll
of
stand by.
bullet. There aren't they bullet lights that are installed in the
Uh-huh,
top of the wall?
and exactly.
It's just shining on the.
They're going to be. If you look at it, you'll see it. You'll see it on our diagram here where it says 40 feet. Yes, it's going to be on the wall themselves behind the lights, and it's going to kind of silhouette the. The color is going to be just as it is on this picture, kind of like a bronze rusted type look on it, and the wall as well. It'll be desert tan, desert brown, earth tone color. Any questions?
Any questions? Yeah, I did have some questions because when I first looked at the signs, there's not really anything in the code. I did find something eventually in the code for exceptions, and it was challenging to me to look at the code and say, okay, is this a monument sign? What kind of signs are these? And it's really not addressed in the code as far as it's addressed in the code as far as, well, the exceptions is 1865.070, and copied where I go losing stuff. The exceptions is, if you look at F on those exceptions, is it says memorial signs or tablets, names of buildings and date of erection of the building, and then when cut into the masonry surface and what have you. But it's made out of bronze, and which this is going to be made out of metal. I think they cut the sign out of metal. But then you look at G, and it's also, this is kind of where it gives me more. Anyway, it says traffic or municipal signs, legal notices, railroad crossings, signs, danger, and temporary signs, emergency signs. But it also says, or other non-advertising signs, this is non-advertising. Well, it's advertising, Messia. But it says it may be approved by the board of trustees. So that kind of got me to the place that, because really these signs, we're going to address the other signs that the town's proposed, is it's kind of a cross between freestanding signs and all that information across there. And it's also 1865-170, which is development identification signs. So it's kind of a cross between those. There's nothing in our code that talks about, the code's mostly set up for business signs. So, I really like the signs, but I'm just trying to figure out how it matches the code, the current code. And that's what I went to the exceptions, and then also went to also development signs, because we'll talk about that other sign on the corner of Mesilla and Avenue Mesilla, and then also El Paso.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So we'll get to that later, but
Yeah.
I just wanted to share that because it's kind of a challenging to kind of find where this meets our code, and I think it does.
Anybody else have anything? Any discussion?
So, Mr. Salazar, when we say the town of Mesilla submitted a sign application to install this steel sign at the park, who is the town of Mesilla?
We are. I mean, the administration, I guess, is
Administration, that means the mayor, who?
the mayor, myself, public works. I mean, just any terms is used that anybody in staff in general, and also the mayor is included in that. Yeah.
Okay. And I'm wondering, like, and it sounds like the sign is more for maybe for just like tourists to take pictures at.
Graduations.
Yeah.
Local people.
It just sounds self-aggrandizing, if you ask me.
Mhm.
We have plenty of signs that people know they're in the town of Mesilla. I don't know why we have to be all gaudy about it. Sorry for the bad language, but it just seems like it's self-aggrandizing, and I don't understand why we need it. Why do we have to have a flashing sign that says you're in Mesilla? People come to Mesilla, they know where they're at. Do you know what I mean?
Mhm.
So I just don't understand why the town of Mesilla has decided to embark on this endeavor.
Yeah, I think this was more for tourism, give them an opportunity, a actual monument and we would like to include more in the town of Mesilla to attract more people like take pictures. People like to take pictures, and I think monuments and structures and murals and such attract people to Mesilla to take pictures. A lot of it is new day and age. Everybody's got a cell phone. Everybody's taking pictures, and I think that was probably the reason why the push for this type of signage and the other ones that you'll come across and see.
I have a comment.
Yes.
To kind of go on that, I because I have a lot of family that comes in from out of town that aren't from here, and I think it's nice because everybody thinks Mesilla is the town plaza. That's what they think. They don't realize that 28 is part of Mesilla.
Yeah. So we see they think about just that little thing and then they leave, right? They don't. It doesn't really expand them out. Okay.
And then when you're coming in, like, well, where do we start and where does it, where's our little boundary? I personally, I like the idea of
Yeah.
it.
And along those lines, I do understand that there's going to be some future proposals. Like, for instance, when you come in, any of the roads that are coming from the east, coming into town, and also the road that's coming from the north, where we're going to address another sign there, is they're going to have similar signs, that monument signs, and saying this is Mesilla. So you know where the boundary is, because right now we just have this dinky little sign that says you're entering Mesilla. You hardly see it. So, but that's going to come in the future. But so one of the signs in the proposal is kind of like along those lines as far as that sign. We'll get to that later on. But the other one question I did have is it shows where they're going to site the sign, and on one location it says it's got arrows. And then the other location, it's right in the middle of the park.
Burberry says it's.
Yeah.
Yeah, the arrows just because Google had those arrows there. It's not something that was
I
put
see.
into it. It's
But what I'm wondering about is, I mean, it makes sense from the standpoint because those monument signs, you should be able to see it from the road, which you can, even though it's parallel with the road. And for pedestrians to see it when they're walking along the roadway, that's definitely going to be visible I just wondered why we're taking up so much room in the park, having it right in the middle of the park where you could probably have it closer to the roadway. But that was just one of my
I think
comments.
because of the clearing of some of the trees and such, right now, if you look at it, it's already staked, it's already flagged where it's going to go.
Okay.
And that's more of the opening clearing in case you are passing by a car or in case you are walking. Is you have a more broader view of the opening of those lettering.
I see those trees now. Okay, thank you.
And I'm also I am looking up as we're speaking. I do remember looking at a code. That particular one was that you know it goes back to many other cases we've had. If it's not mentioned in the code, then it's kind of pretty much case by case.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Exactly.
So we don't automatically approve it or consider it approved, or we don't automatically deny it. But if it's not, and the other part is although we are making some changes with it, is the town of Mesilla does as much as possible try to comply to our code, but there are sometimes, again, it's not black and white. Sometimes the exceptions are because the town of Mesilla is again trying to grow business, tourism, and such. That's why this application was submitted.
Good, thank you. Any other comments? I think we're ready for a vote.
All right. We'll go with first motion was Commissioner Miller to approve. Second motion by Madam Vice Chair Alba. Commissioner Gallegos.
No,
Was that a yes or no?
that's a no.
Oh, no. Okay, that's Commissioner Miller,
Yes.
Mr. Chair Walkinshaw,
Yes.
Madam Vice Chair Alba,
Yes.
and Commissioner Mulvihill.
Yes.
Mr. Chair, motion passes 4-1.
Okay, thank you. Okay, next is, this is where I get all mixed up. Oh, there it is. Okay, we're going on to another sign request from the town. It's sign request number 061994. Town of Mesilla submitted a sign application to install. That's not the right. Anyway, and you'll see it in the packet. What size? It's a plastered wall to hang Parque de Cura, a sign in front of and for historic information plaques on the back of the sign, and it's in historic commercial. It's in the park. It's right across from the school, or the old school. So need a motion?
Yeah, I'll move to approve PZHAC sign 061994.
Thank you.
Second.
First motion, Commissioner Gallegos. Second motion by Commissioner Mulvihill.
Yes.
Yeah, this sign is I'm pretty sure Commissioner knows it's right in front of the community center. There is some pictures and some site plans where it's being proposed, where it's being built right now. But really, right now, even though it is under a sign application, that is the intent. But right now, the first phase is going to be to build the structure, the wall, and to be able to the mural artwork is still not been submitted. That will go through the process of being approved, but it's not like a blank check to where we already got approved. We get to design whatever we want, right? We are going to revisit what exactly, but basically, really, what it was, just like the background analysis says, the request would commemorate history of Ramon Ortiz, a Mexican priest. He was instrumental in establishing the settlement of Mesilla, New Mexico. He brought in families from New Mexico, Pasada del Norte, modern Ciudad Juarez, to populate the Mesilla civil colony grant, later overseeing the distribution of land to settlers. Ortiz was the Commissioner of Lands in 1851, according to the town's historical records. I was reading up, and I thought this was kind of pretty cool. I learned quite a few things that I found.
And I know you mentioned that the mural on the front of the sign is to be determined yet. So this sign, what we're addressing now is just the sign itself.
Yeah,
the structure. The
yeah, the location and the structure. I mean, there is going to say Parque de Cura on it. That's what we're here, but it's not going to have the mural on it or the plaques in the back.
That's what I was.
Yeah, the plaques in the back
come later for another proposal.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. All those are going to be.
This is concept.
Yeah.
Exactly. Again, thank you. I mean, a lot of times it's hard to understand, but the concept part of it is what we're proving. So yeah, I did write some notes about some public comment on it. I didn't know it used to be a school or exactly, well, how did but it was Trina something? So maybe, I'll include that also, some kind of history on those plaques. And then she mentioned something else that I didn't get, school and what else?
Excuse me. She mentioned the name of a family that lived there on that
Do you-
property.
Okay, well, I'll ask her, maybe I'll get in contact with her, but yeah, she mentioned two things, and I wanted to make sure because to me, again, it was important to recognize if that's indeed.
I thought she said
fact.
something like Casada or Casares or something like that, but I didn't get it.
Okay.
Who is she?
I don't know. Somebody that actually lived on that section as well. That's the way I understood it.
Okay,
Oh, who is she?
I meant
Sorry. Trina, it was Trina.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
what was it? What was it?
No, Katrina's the one that.
Oh, okay, yeah,
Casada, right? Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Casada?
Right.
Casada. Any other discussion?
Any discussion?
Not
No?
as a concept, no.
All right, Commissioner Gallegos,
Yes.
Commissioner Miller,
Yes.
Mr. Chair Walkinshaw,
Yes.
Madam Vice Chair Alba,
Yes.
and Commissioner Movill.
Yes.
Yes? Motion passes 5-0.
All right. Okay, we're down to the last sign proposal is sign number 061995. Kalamazoo submitted sign application to replace existing sign Sia and Calle de El Paso. Small design changes will apply. Zoned HC. Do I have a?
I
Motion.
move to discuss this.
Okay.
Yes.
Second?
Who made the first one? Did you get him, Commissioner Movill? Okay, got it. Commissioner Movill's first and Commissioner Miller second. To approve. All right, yeah, this sign, there's already an existing sign there. It's kind of small. I understand you can't really, it doesn't really stand out. You can't really see it as you're approaching Messiah. So, one thing I did forget was, these three sign proposals were actually went through the future PAC committee, right? They're being proposed, they've already been reviewed, and it's coming to the commission for their recommendations of it. The sign that is there now is being proposed to move to community center for the public garden that I'm excited about. So that will be moved. That's also in your packet. It will be moved. So the consideration for this will be for both replacing that sign with the new one and also moving that sign. It's can be looked at the same and under the same application. So, and I stand by for any questions.
I did have a question on the drawing on that corner it's gonna be,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm assuming that it's not gonna have a really white background there.
Yeah, we did a very poor job of photoshopping that in there.
Okay, that's what I thought. And then the other thing is, are those posts that are proposed for this sign,
Mm-hmm.
are they attached to the wall or are you just gonna be just?
No, it's
next
going to
to
be
it?
away from the wall.
Okay, okay. No, that's all I had.
Are they metal post or wood?
No, there's going to be lumber, wood.
Oh, lumber, okay.
Well, no, let me retract that. I believe it's going to be wood. I don't know for a certainty. Yeah, it kind of looks like metal, but I believe it's going to be wood. But would that be, either way, would be okay with the commission? Okay, I apologize. I assumed that, but I'm not exactly sure. It's a good question. It's a good question. All right, so there's nobody more discussion. I'd like to take.
Sure. I mean, so we're looking at what it potentially may look like. And so Commissioner Miller brings up a good point. So looking at the posts, they could be metal or they could be wood, right? I'm just trying to make sure that we adhere to the aesthetics of this corridor,
Mhm.
so to speak, because you're on 292. People are coming in from Las Cruces to Mesilla. It's one of the main corridors besides Avenida de Mesilla. I just want to make sure that we're adhering to the aesthetics of the way it should, what we ideally want it to look like as people come into the town. So I'm just want to make sure, like, if
Now, would you?
those are a different color, then I'm wondering, like, what's that going to be?
Yeah.
Because we have many colors going on right here.
Yeah,
It's a little
yeah,
busy.
yeah, I understand. Okay,
Yeah.
good point. I think, that's a very good point. I think, the condition could consider to approve, providing it's consistent with, especially the one that was already, that's why I assume it was wood, consistent with the rest of these signs in Messiah, that it be lumber and not steel.
That is understated. The existing sign is more in keeping with what you're talking about, rustic.
And if that's the case, then
That's a
you
good,
would need to make those. Pick up.
Can I do it now?
No, I didn't hear you. For the record, you have to talk. When I transcribe, it's got to be in audio. So Commissioner, just to be clear, Commissioner Mulvihill amended or like to make some changes?
That it be made up what?
That it be made of what?
Supposed to be made
Amend her first original motion. Be
Okay.
made of. And there a second? I believe was Commissioner Miller, and she also consents. So, okay. All right. No more discussion. I'll take a vote.
all right, I think we're ready.
Commissioner Gallegos? Commissioner Miller?
Yes.
Mr. Chair Walkinshaw? Madam Vice Chair Alba? And Commissioner Mulvihill? This is to approve with the condition that the original framework and such is made out of wood, consistent with the other
existing
signs.
sign there. Yeah, that's a good idea. All right, I think we're ready for department comments. Go, commissioners and staff comments.
If you'd like to go first, I'd go ahead and
Sure.
get the ball rolling. If you notice in your packet, there's also one of the reports I made for last month. That is the administrative approval. Again, more likely it'll be in your package the second Monday, because the first Monday I don't have time to get it ready. Anyway, that'll be on your third. So if you have any questions, you can always email me about any on that, or bring it up here. I'm okay with it. The meeting or the training coming up, again, I keep bringing it up. I had 2 people confirm that they're going to go, and I want to make sure. Okay, so you see, I want to put a deadline. I don't want to wait, because usually what happens when I send in your application to the town clerk, she wants to collect them all and do them all at the same time, which makes sense because it saves time.
Yeah.
But I don't want to wait for all of them to collect time, and then it's not fair if you already know it, and then at the very last minute, now all of you got bad rooms, right? So I like to move forward. So as they come, I like to give a deadline at the end of this month for all of them to be submitted, or at least let me know, so that way we can get the rooms by then. Okay. There is again, we will review our arts and culture work session that we had today. We won't have a work session on May 5th on our next meeting, because that meeting we're having a comprehensive plan joint work session with the BOT. So the arts and craft will be part, and again, another discussion, but it'll be during our normal regular meeting.
At 5
Okay.
o'clock.
No, yes, the 5 o'clock is the work session
that's
with BOT. 6 o'clock will be included in a regular agenda for discussion.
So is there, I know that meeting got postponed as far as Robert's rules and all that. Is it still
Yeah,
on the 19th?
she is coming. I didn't write that date down, but that sounds
I
about
think it was
right.
the
Yeah.
19th. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That'll be the third Monday.
May. Right before some of us go up to for Taos
Are you gonna be here?
the next day.
I think I'm gonna be here.
Oh.
Not on the 19th.
Oh,
Okay.
we got YouTube. You can always, kind of watch it. That's the best thing. Am I missing anything else? Well, we had a lot of projects. I mean, I know everybody had it was a long agenda. I thank you. I think all you guys did a great job. And I stand by. Any questions? You girls, 2 girls look legit. They look part of the commissions. That's good.
I have a couple of questions, and I know it's, I was just kind of wondering on the business license 1334. What kind of business was that got approved?
That's where the Cannabis Cowboys is going to be?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's gonna be like soaps and
Oh,
almost,
Yeah, that's
Mhm.
the gentleman that was here.
Okay, okay,
Yeah.
gotcha. Okay, my other question is, can the commissioners right now confirm whether they're going to the meeting
Yeah.
or not? Okay.
it could be a verbal, or I just wanna make sure we get them out. We would have to
I think
submit
if
an
we get it
application.
now, then, we're
Yeah.
done. So, and then my last question was.
So that was a commitment from you? That was a commitment that you are gonna go?
Yes. I
Okay,
am
got
going.
it. You as well?
All right.
I sent you one.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
answered
yeah.
it.
I know there's a few of you that sent already, but.
Okay. My last question was, at the last meeting, you had made a comment about, there was a discussion about a possible stipend. Did that go anywhere, or was that kind of for the commissioners? They talked about maybe doing a stipend.
That's per diem.
It must have been a.
For the commission about what? The pay?
That we'd be paid.
Oh, that's, again, it's in the air. It's being considered, put it that way.
Yeah.
I mean, other than that, it could go anywhere. I don't, it's gonna take some time. But obviously, I'm just, there are ideas, that, I am excited that one of the projects that I was assigned is that the commission, because we are, to get a little bit better handle on our town, on our codes, especially, there's a lot of codes, a lot of structures, a lot of, with the COG, all these programs and stuff. We don't get involved so much when it comes to codes and whenever they go to court, whenever they get criminal summons or such, and so we don't get summoned to see, and the judge knows very little bit about, a lot of, not very little bit, but knows he's limited to his knowledge in the code. So I just feel that they even though they come in here, then they get cited, but nothing gets done about it. There's no formal ways as we would like our historic appropriateness permit that we get, right? We sit down, have a work session.
Right.
So the idea is, and it's happened before, and I worked with an attorney in a different municipality, and we came up with an ordinance that the people that did not meet the code that were cited to come to or they were sentenced criminal summons reported to P&Z. They don't go to municipal court. Sorry. And the way around that is municipal court has to hear all cases that are criminal complaints, right, against a person, because obviously civil rights and such and all that.
Right.
So the attorney, then there's another municipality, I believe it was Taos, and I can send you that. I want you guys to see it because I believe one of these we went. I think some of the commissioners went. He heard that it's something similar like that they did, and it works very, very well. So it just the commission comes in. I mean, the offendant comes in, the commission reviews it, and then imposes a fee, a fine, and a resolution. How more than anything, we're not here to collect money. We're just here to fix problems, and the resolution, and that way we can track it much better, and it's in our system. And then being therefore, a lot of the court fees and such and fines stay within the town of Mesilla, don't go to the municipal court. And because of that, some of those little extra fees come in. I mean, the idea is that it's a possibility that we can compensate the commissioners for doing so. Again, it's just an idea. It's a thought. But I do appreciate you all, again, being here voluntarily. I know
Well, to back up, we do get a stipend because when we go to these trainings, you guys cover the cost. So that's good. Well,
It's per diem.
it's pretty.
It's per diem.
Yeah. But hey, again, as we grow, but I am excited about that because it does work very well, I think. Again, that's what we talk about, the quasi judicial hearings and the methods. That's going to be very critical when it comes to that. Right. The offender will now get a criminal summons. The property would get a citation. That's why we are able to oversee, because we're overseeing property. We're not overseeing people's rights or such. But anyway, I will send you that. I will send it because it's very interesting. It's a PowerPoint presentation, and it was very educational. That's all I got.
I didn't bring the agenda with me for the Taos session, but is that part of the session? Is that on the session, what you just discussed? Okay. Good.
Yeah.
Mr. Salazar, I just want to note, thank you very much for the activity reports you're providing the commission.
That's
They're very useful. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Oh, lastly, wanted me to mention, nobody's here. I'm gonna get in trouble. He does have in the lobby, he had a very good turnout for in the lobby about community interaction, part of the comprehensive plan. There are some sticky notes out there, some questions, some ideas, your thoughts are appreciated. You go out there, read them, rule them, write them down, and be heard. Sometimes whenever, you don't have the majority, and sometimes you feel discouraged because you're only one person, you can't make a difference. You can. It's just
I
a
think
matter
those
of speaking up.
I understand those are going to be shared with the folks that are doing helping us out on the
Exactly.
comprehensive plan.
Yeah. And that's coming soon. So
Yeah, that's the 5th.
the 5th.
I think May.
I think it's the 5th. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's. I think it was the 5th.
But anyway.
Anything else? No?
Okay.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
Everybody talk at once.
Yeah, 4 of them.
All right, so I'll go ahead and take a vote. Was the first one by Commissioner Gallegos, second by Commissioner Mulvihill. Commissioner Gallegos? Commissioner Miller?
Yes.
Mr. Chair Walkinshaw?
Yes.
Madam Vice Chair Alba? And Commissioner Mulvihill? Motion passes 5-0. Thank you very much for coming. Good. Aquí nomás.
This morning I